Good morning, 4:37. Checking farm news. Yesterday, the U.S. Senate voted 60 to 38 to approve Trade Promotion Authority. TPA is a measure that gives the president greater negotiating powers on trade deals. Ag groups quickly supporting the move, citing the potential expansion of ag exports as TPA could help key trade deals like the Trans-Pacific Partnership. Last week, the House approved the bill, but not before a bit of political wrangling. But with the Senate vote, the bill now moves to the president's desk. Severe thunderstorms across North Dakota this past weekend caused crop damage in several counties. Last weekend's swath of pounding hail started up near Towner, where the damage was estimated to be 4 to 6 miles wide, chopped off growing crops while the high winds flattened what survived the hail. In Dale Kuhn's fields near Towner, nearly 900 acres of corn critical to his dairy operation took the brunt of the storm. Golf ball-sized hail hit the area. Kuhn says the hail hit in a year where the corn crop in particular looked very promising. Local crop insurance office said it'll take about a week before adjusters determine the extent of the damage. Now, that same storm went through Griggs County near Hannaford and continued south through Barnes and into Richland County, causing significant hail damage to crop. Monday morning storms here in the valley also hit Grant County, Wisconsin. When a farm family is faced with the struggle of cleanup from major damage to buildings, crops, and even animals, it's usually the neighbors that come through, as they did just outside Platteville, Wisconsin.
Pieces of tin and plexiglass are the former pieces of a generations-old dairy farm that's now strewn across the farm fields outside Platteville as its owners begin already to rebuild.
We came home and this is what we found. Everything was pretty much gone.
Leave it to a farmer to offer a practical assessment of his 126-year-old family farm after a swift morning storm.
When we first pulled in, there was calves running around. And it's like, oh, this is really bad. And the more you looked at it, it's like, no, this is really, really bad. 4 buildings on the Weigel Dairy Farm are completely destroyed. Every building on the property was damaged. A few animals were lost as calf hutches were heaved for hundreds of feet. Thank God I have a sense of humor, because if I start crying, it's going to be a long process.
But those tears may have been abated by the army of volunteers that showed up within an hour of the storm.
A farm friend and customer of mine called as they were on their way up here, and just to give me the news, so I went home, changed, and just came up.
Those calf hutches, nearly already replaced, packed with bedding so calves can return. The torn up tin already going in delivered dumpsters. The roof of the milking barn, lumber is on location. Feed for the herd, cattle, and all comers are covered.
Well, I could tell you if this was the next farm down the road, other side of town, this family here, Tom and Kelly, they would be there helping out. It's kind of the community.
Weigel's farm has operated for more than a century, and today was no exception.
The amazing part is that happened at 9-ish in the morning, and we're due to milk again at noon, and we're milking. So.
And why is that?
Well, because of the people of Grant County and the people that we deal with every day, they came to our aid.
The fabric of farming communities. Now let's go to the west side of the continent, where they would welcome a storm. The drought in California has some winemakers there resorting to an old farming technique, dry farming, and it allows grapes to grow without water. Reporter Chris Martinez visited a vineyard in Paso Robles that says this old technique is delivering some great new flavor.
These grapevines are thriving in the hot California sun without getting water.
And you can see, these are big, substantial trunks at this point.
At Tablas Creek Vineyard in Paso Robles, manager Jason Haas says he's now dry farming at least a third of the vineyard's grapes.
Dry farming is just a common way of saying farming without irrigation.
American winemakers began irrigating in the 70s to increase productivity and help create super ripe flavors that many critics and consumers crave. But with a long drought making water scarce in the region, Tablas Creek is weathering the conditions using a technique that's proven successful elsewhere.
In most of the top wine regions in Europe, you're required to dry farm.
The grapevines rely solely on moisture in the ground from very limited rain.
And it's enough.
It's enough.
The vine roots dig deep in search of water.
It's good.
Winemaker Neil Collins says dry farming is improving his product.
There's more intricacies. It's more complex, I think, and it's just a more intriguing flavor.
Tablas Creek says the vines that are being starved are thriving through the drought, doing better than the ones that are getting water. Chris Martinez, CBS News, Paso Robles, California.
Now, Haas says with dry farming, there's about 1/3 less fruit to make it into wine, but it is a higher quality. All right, 4:43 almost. Right after the break, we're going to come back and check the storms down in South Dakota and the forecast for farming here in the valley the next couple days.